Harmonies. It's a very fun game. I'll probably talk through this a little bit for this first video, and then in the future maybe I'll do a playthrough of the video or of the game. Now, it's a very simple game, very quick to learn, very easy to set up. I love it. It's also, there's a little bit of kind of like a strategy aspect or like a logic, using your mind to kind of think about future moves and how you set things up. Again, very simple, but I feel like it's fun, gets your brain involved a little bit. So as always, you can probably hear my pup snoring in the background. So let me take everything out here. I'll just set everything up real quick. Some great sounds in this, huh? These game pieces are great. One thing that's really cool is the cards that are used in this game. There's some really gorgeous artwork. Like Arctic Fox, you got some kind of like panther here. The duck, geese, duck, geese. I think these are geese. Yeah, parrot. It's just like some fun, really cute kind of art. But let me set up the kind of walk through how it's played. So I'll lay this out. Some of these cards you don't play, but I'll talk through some of this. So there's the board that you play with. Now, actually, let's get these out of here. So the goal, basically, of this game is this is your terrain. So there's different tokens that you play with. This bag here. Let me show you that. All these different tokens, different colors. So each token is something different. So the brown token is basically like wood. So these green, these are kind of considered trees. Think about like natural habitat. So this is trees. These are I forget. These are buildings. I actually forget what each thing represents. I mean, I know these are fields. So trees, fields. I think this is gray is building, blue is water. I forget what red is. Let me take a look. Hold on. these cards. These are all the different animals. And basically what we're saying here is certain animals can live in certain terrain. So let's say you have, and I'll show you how you get tokens and things like that, but basically if you have this, so we're talking about this right here, you want to get this layout on your board, on your terrain. So when you have this, you've achieved the goal of what you're trying to do to get geese on your terrain. Now, there are little pieces here that kind of mark, so you get points basically for how many geese you can get on your terrain. Good sounds too. So basically, you put a little cube for each one of these numbers here. So 2, 4, 8, and 13. So basically, if you get this formation on your board once, you get 2 points. If you get it twice, you get 4. 3 times 8, and 4 times you get 13. So what you do is you have the little cubes. Right here. Now let's say this was my game board, right? And I just achieved this setup. I now, if you notice, there's a little cube on the blue, so you take this and you put it right there, and that shows me that, okay, I have 2 points because I got the proper setup on my terrain, right? Now let's say you keep going and you get another blue one here at some point. Well, guess what? It's the same. You've got the same setup, right? So all you need to do is have another blue. So guess what? You get another right there. So now you have 4 points at the end of the game if this was how you finished. But theoretically, you could keep going as you draw more pieces, and I'll talk about that. But basically, you draw tokens throughout each turn. You get 3 tokens. But if you get this setup again, look, you've got the 2 reds right next to a blue. So it's basically you're just trying to get the 2 reds stacked up adjacent to a blue. I will say red. If you see down here, it says it's you can't see it that well, but there's a gray color, a red, and a brown. Red tokens, the buildings can be stacked on top of the gray, red, or brown. So if you were to do this too on your board, you get to put another one, and then you could theoretically have all of these on your board. And look, at the end of the game, you would now have 13 points for this terrain you set up. Now, I will say this is a relatively easy one to set up. They're not all that easy, right? So if you take a look at this one, it's a little bit more difficult. You need 3, technically 4 tokens altogether. Some of them you need even more. Let's see. And they're not going to be as easy to chain. So this one might be kind of difficult. You have 2 grays and 2 yellows. So, in theory, move this one to the side. And I'm just trying to show you some examples right now. But let's say you have this set up now. And you've achieved this setup. So now you would be able to put one of the cubes right here. You always have to put it on the spot indicated on the card, on the animal card, right? So again, you could do the same thing where like later on you can have this orientation, and then you would achieve those points. Now, I'm just drawing the tokens, right? It's not that easy. What happens is each turn, and there's a little bit of a difference when you do a solo mode versus this game you can play solo, which is nice. But what happens is if you're playing, multiplayer, circles there. And as each player goes, you have to take the 3 from one circle, so you get to pick which circle you take your 3 from. And then after that, you replace them with 3 new ones, and then the next person goes. And what happens after that is there are always 3 animal cards that are down. So you shuffle at the beginning. You just basically have 3 animal cards. Oh, there's a little geese that are down. And what you can do is, like, let's say I wanted to try to do this setup here. Well, this wouldn't be great, but I would probably try to do, actually no, I could do right off the bat. So here's a great example, just accidentally. We can do this setup right here, right off the bat with this. So if you see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, you can have 4 animal cards on your terrain at one time as you're trying to play them. So let's say I wanted to take this one. I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. So I'll take this card, and I'm going to take these 3. So this is my first turn of the game, and I can already, luckily, set up, so I can put brown there, and then I can put the red right on top, and then I can put the blue. So look at that, the one that we were practicing earlier, I just randomly was able to do. And when you pull the animal card, you put those little cubes right here, and then I would go like this, and then that's the end of the turn. So then, because we took one of the animal cards, you draw another one and you put it there, and then the next person goes, and then they do the same thing. They try to take whatever 3 tokens that they want to try to take to build out if there's an animal there, or alternatively, so you get points for these animals, right? Alternatively, you get points for having different setups here that I kind of explained at the beginning. So the trees, pretty simple. You can stack browns, or you can stack a green on top of a brown, and you get points. The mountains, you only get points. You see the link there? You only get points if they're adjacent to another mountain. So I'll show you what I mean by that. You have 3 gray tokens. So let's say you have a single stack of 3 for your big mountain. And let's say you have another stack of 2 on your terrain here, but unfortunately they weren't connected. So for scoring, in order to get the actual points, so this would be 7 and this would be 3, but to get points they actually have to be adjacent. They have to be linked and touching each other. So in this scenario, I would not get the 7 and 3 points, but in this scenario, when they're next to each other, I would get 7 and 3. Same thing over here, same thing over here, same thing over here. As long as they're touching each other, you'll get the points. So that's how the mountains work. And then for the fields, kind of similar. They have to all be touching. You can't have a yellow token off on its own. So as long as you have this set up, you get 5 points. So you can keep extending off of this though, right? So let's say you have 2 more yellows. Or actually, where's the other? It'd have to be like this. I'm sorry. So you can kind of keep linking off of that one brown. So then, let's say, later on your terrain, you're able to build out another little link, right? So that's another. So this would be 15 points, right? So every single one of these that you can get chained together for the fields gets you 5 points. The buildings are a little bit different to score, so I'll show an example of that. So let's say the building here, you'll see let's say you had a yellow there, a blue, and then a gray, right? So in this scenario, 3 plus colors, so 1, 2, 3. You have to have 3 different colored tokens next to your building. Red counts for that too. So let's say I had this. Unfortunately, I don't have 3 colors. I have 1 yellow, 2 blue. But if I had another red here, that actually counts as another color, right? Red, yellow, blue. These can be any 3 different colors. As long as you have 3 different colors, you're good, right? As long as it's 3. Red counts as a different color, right? Because it's not counting this one, it's just counting the ones next to it, so it's 3 different colors. So for every one of those setups you have, you get 5 points. And then the last one is basically rivers. So you get points for having a longer river. Excuse my dog if you can hear her drinking water. That could be some good background noise. But basically, from the starting point to the end point, so let's say on your board, and mind you, like you're doing this all, you're putting these all down, trying to think about how you can score points on your terrain, while also trying to think, okay, how can I also get points for my animal cards? So if I had this set up here, right? Remember, let's say I have this on my card, this setup gets me this, so I'll put this here. It doesn't extend further though, it has to be this exact diagram on your terrain. But let's say I had another one right here, right? That does get me the extra point because it's the same setup. Now, also realize at the same time, look, 1, 2, 3. I have 1, 2, 3. So if I have a length of river that's 3 spaces, I get 5 points. I could keep that going, technically. I could go here, then I could put another one, let's say up there, and let's say that was on my board, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get to 11 points. Now, the thing about rivers to remember is it's not total. It's in a kind of a straight line. You can't have them adjacent to each other like this. It's from the farthest starting point to the end, farthest end point. So I cannot go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That doesn't count because they're technically like just one end, right? This one branches off once or twice, just in different directions. But if this one was up here, you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is 15 points. So it's basically how long the straightest line is again. Because this one is connected, it's not 6, right? This one just connects to 2 different. But if it's like this, it's one straight line. And that's kind of like the way you play the game. It's very simple to set up. It's very easy to kind of learn. It takes a minute to strategize because you're trying to get points for your animal cards while also being conscious of getting points for your terrain, and realize some of these terrain setups just get you points anyway. So let's say I was playing this. If I wanted to play this card and I was trying to get this set up on my board, well, realize just having this here gets you 7 points, that tree. So if I build this out, I already have 7 points. And then also with this, remember this is the buildings. So if I have a building set up and then if I have 3 different token colors around this one, I also will get the points for this, so 5 points. While at the same time, I've built out this terrain on my board so I can put one of the animal cubes on there. So this one setup would be technically worth 4, 7, so 11 plus 5, so 16 points. So just kind of hitting that one, this animal itself gets you at least 16 points if you set it up. More if you can get the higher animal cube. But yeah, it's a really fun and easy game to play. It's, the artwork is really nice. It's very simple, it's very relaxing. The sounds of the tokens and the little animal cubes and everything is great. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little walkthrough, Whisper Ramble. I will probably do a solo playthrough of this in the next couple days. I'm This is kind